The Morocco pavilion at EPCOT has officially been taken over by Disney Parks and thus temporarily closed. What's that about? We'll talk about it. The EPCOT International Festival of the Holidays is something that we all were able to do recently, and we have some highlights from it. And Disneyland Christmas memories. We can't wait to share them with you. Even if the park isn't open this year, it's definitely worth taking a walk down memory lane. It's December the 12th, 2020, and Kingdom Report Live starts right now.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. To all who come to this happy
Beginning, as we always do, with a live look outside at the Disneyland Resort on this rather cloudy, Christmassy feeling type day. Guardians of the Galaxy mission break out in the distance, and now sort of a long pan over California Adventure, that park that recently reopened as part of the Downtown Disney expansion, but has shuttered some of its stores, unfortunately, some of its retail locations due to the new state of California shutdown order. All kinds of interesting things happening on the West Coast, whereas the East Coast still wide open, still very much intact and doing all the things that they want to do out there. However, the Disneyland Resort, just really a captivating view of the Grand Californian and Space Mountain here. You see some of the spires of like the train station at Disneyland. Oh, wouldn't it be just bustling with all kinds of chaos, all kinds of Christmas magic right about now? I think it would, because this time of year, this week in particular, going into the Christmas weeks, absolutely busier than ever. This is that time of year where Christmas magic sort of reaches a fever pitch, and everybody is at Disneyland, everybody's at California Adventure, but it looks like 2020 is going to take a Christmas year off, unfortunately. Well, hello, my friends. Wade Heath for the Kingdom Report, joining you once again here with another live broadcast to bring you all the Disney Parks news and information, all the discussion points that you need. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to us over on YouTube at the Kingdom Report, and turn on that notification bell to make sure you are notified every time we have something new for you. And if you haven't done so already, no matter where you're watching this, whether it's Facebook Live or the YouTube live stream, or if you're listening to us, make sure that you give us a big thumbs up, that you hit that like button. It not only helps the video perform better, but it also lets us know that we're on the right track for you. And if you're listening to us via iTunes or any number of platforms, make sure that you go ahead, give us that star rating that we deserve, and go ahead and leave a review for us. Let us know what you think and how we can improve. Well, my friends, always joined by other pals of mine to talk Disney. This week, from AttractionFaction.net, feeling Christmassy, it's Tyler Crouch and Katina Manzone.
Hi, everybody. Happy
Hey.
Saturday.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, this weather really got me in the Christmas mood.
Isn't it perfect?
Oh my gosh, I did my nails. I did everything. I got my little Christmas outfit on.
This
Super
is
stoked.
the most Christmas hat that I own,
guy.
so this is what's going on.
What is
all about
on there?
Halloween.
What is that?
It's an Aquabats hat. The
Oh.
Aquabats are a band, ska. Well, they used to be a ska band. They're not really anymore, but they do a lot of stuff for kids and things at this point. Actually, the lead singer of Aquabats is the guy that co-created Yo Gabba Gabba. So
Seriously?
yeah,
Wow.
So everybody knows Yo Gabba Gabba, but nobody knows what the Aquabats are. So.
I've never heard of the Aquabats.
Well, that's crazy considering you've lived in California for so long, because it's a massive institution in California, but a lot of people don't
Over
know
my
about
head?
the Aquabats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they're really goofy superhero guys. That's basically
It's definitely
the band.
surprising when he wears Aquabat stuff, and we're like walking down, like even Disneyland, we would go, and everybody's like Aquabats, and I was like, what?
Oh.
it happens every time I wear something.
Little cult following.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of.
basically,
Aquabats, yeah.
Yeah. So good times.
I know of the Thundercats, but I don't know the Aquabats.
The Thundercats. I don't know if they ever started a band though, did they?
No.
So not as good as the Aquabats.
Gosh. Well, we've been educated here today.
Yes,
That's for
You're
certain.
welcome, everybody. Ask me any questions you want about Aquabats anytime.
Seemingly, he knows it all when it comes to the
I don't know
Aquabats.
it all.
When it comes to the Aquabats, proficient.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take proficient. I like
Proficient,
that. Yes.
yeah, that's the word we'll use. And of course, making the production world look seamless and everything in its place from the production dungeon, producer Christian joins us once again. Oh, Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Look at you, all ready for the holidays. And tell me, do you have a pin in which to share with the
Ooh.
community this week?
Today in the, what was it, pin pocket, I have...
You can't forget your own.
Oh, wow. He's green.
Oh, what?
Oh,
You
no!
can't even see it. Oh, no!
I was like, why does he look so weird on camera?
What are we looking at there? What is
So it's Oogie Boogie with
He's
Jack.
transparent.
He's transparent this time, you know.
that? I
because
see.
Producer Christian completely forgot that there was a green screen.
Oh, way to go.
But there's a little tiny pumpkin ornament in the corner. I'm not sure if it can focus in right there.
Yeah. I can see it now.
Getting a little bit more.
So now this is a number of pins we've seen so far with a Nightmare Before Christmas type theme. Do you have mostly Nightmare Before Christmas pins?
Yes, I would say I'm more of a Nightmare Before Christmas enthusiasto?
Is that? I don't think that's a word.
Well,
You combined
Yeah.
But
two
it
awesome
sounds
words,
great.
though. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
There you go, see?
Aficionado?
Yeah.
Is that what we're looking for?
No, this
Enthusianato?
I like
It's a
enthusianato.
word.
I like
yeah,
it.
I think that sounds great.
Let's put that into Webster's dictionary. I think we've got it.
Yeah.
You're a real enthusianato when it comes to those pins, and Tyler is proficient when it comes to other matters. So how about
Yes.
that?
Yeah. I'll be an enthusianato too. I like it.
Oh, seems like the word of the day. So every time you hear it, we need to scream, like on the Playhouse.
Yeah.
Enthusianato.
Ah!
There we go. We'll cue it next time. Don't
Yep.
you worry.
Okay.
Well, my friends, Christmas is here. With Christmas right around the corner, with Christmas just days away, it's time to talk a little bit about the holidays and exactly what the holidays have to offer at Disney parks. And we wanted to start out here with our most recent trip out to Walt Disney World, which happened just about a week or two ago. And we were able to experience a lot of things, including the kickoff of the EPCOT International Festival of the Holidays. Now, Festival of the Holidays this year, very different from how it's been in past years. However, it's definitely worth exploring, definitely worth experiencing. And so I wanted to have Tyler and Katrina share some of their highlights from the festival, even though there are so few activities going on at the moment based on the world circumstances and how they've had to restrict stuff. There are still some things that the festival itself has to offer, and I thought, why not share a little bit of that and see what topped out on their list in terms of highlights. And we'll start with Tyler. What'd you think of the EPCOT International Festival holidays this year, and what do you have to share with us?
I mean, overall, I thought there wasn't a whole lot of stuff that kind of got me excited, honestly. But the main things that I did love, and I know Katrina's going to want to talk about it too, is the booth over in Mexico. I don't know the names of any of the booths, so I'm sorry. But yeah, the Mexican pavilion booth, that place was amazing. That was my favorite food by far. They had this tostada that had like black beans and chorizo on top, and the black beans were like spicy too. They put chipotle peppers in it. Oh man, that tostada was so good. It was kind of expensive. I think it was like $8.50.
It was like $9.
But man, that tostada was good. And then they also had a tamale with some green. It was like mole verde on it. So
Mole!
It was like a combination of two sauces, and that was actually really good too. It was funny because I think you got a tamale, like later, right? You got
Yes.
and then like so the first time we had tamales, mine had like so much chicken in it, and I thought, and yours was yours had a lot of chicken too. But then the second time we went back, there was like no chicken in hers, so that was kind of a bummer. But and then the other booth that I always have to go to is over in America, where they do the turkey dinner.
Yeah.
And it's just basically the turkey and the gravy and the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and the green beans. It's everything that you want in a small little boat, and
A boat of goodness.
a little boat of goodness. And you would think that like, oh, they're mass cooking turkey and stuff. Like it's not going to be that good, maybe. But I thought it was really nice. I'm a turkey apologist.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people, especially this year, that I keep hearing like saying how bad turkey is. And you know what? I'm here to tell you that's just not true.
So you're hearing
not
this
true.
a lot this year.
Yeah, yeah.
People are just poo-pooing the turkey.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's saying, I feel like people are coming out of the woodwork and just saying like, turkey, not so good. And I'm like, turkey is good. I don't care what you say.
I appreciate
You
you
just-
standing up for turkey rights.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let's eat those turkeys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
They're here for a reason.
Listen, that's exactly. I mean, they're just gonna. Have you ever heard that when it rains, they stare up in the air and they can drown?
Yeah, I have heard that.
So
Heard that about chickens,
let's put
too.
them out of their
Yeah.
misery before they drown.
Silly little birds.
Yeah, exactly.
Aw.
So I mean,
That's
yeah.
it.
So I thought that was a really good dish as well. And then, gosh, I got one more thing too, and I'm blanking on what it was. Oh, it was Italy. I got they had these. You're gonna pronounce it better than I do. Right?
Ketty.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like little pouches of cheese, and like they were really good. And they had they put like bacon bits on top, so it was like these little.
Oh, is this the pasta?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pasta.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, okay. I
And-
have this too.
Yeah,
This
and-
was spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I thought it was
I
really
couldn't have it,
good.
but it smelled great.
Right.
Yeah.
What's it called, Katrina? Can you-
Sacchetti di, I don't know, formaggio. I don't know what it.
Sacchetti- Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're like little sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really tasty, and so those were my kind of big takeaways from the food festival. I thought it was kind of, it was sad that I know like Gared spoke about it like months ago when he sorry, I saw his face pop in. He's like, me? But anyway, he talked about how he loved the different Santas that go around that are all in the
The
different countries
storytelling
and
they
stuff.
traditionally have.
And they obviously they couldn't do that this year, so
Right.
that was kind of a bummer to not see that stuff. But unfortunately, too, without just the normal performers, Epcot feels very quiet.
Very
I feel
much
like,
so, yeah.
and so that was definitely kind of a sad thing. But I thought overall the festival was really cool, and I even like how they have that new festival center where they open up the it's like the little place in between Canada and France, right?
Yeah.
And England, yes.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The UK and Canada, right?
Yeah, and so they opened that up, and they did that for the last for the food and wine as well. But that was a cool place to just kind of hang out and see merchandise, and I like it, and so it was good stuff overall.
Yeah, very much so. And Katrina, knowing that you have the gluten allergy,
Yeah.
right? So not a lot offered to you this year,
No,
unfortunately.
disappointing, man. Like I was really looking forward to my arepas that they usually always have at the Three Wise Men booth that they usually I don't know. It's like kind of like right as soon as you enter in World Showcase. So they didn't have that this year, and they only had like 3 options this year out of like I don't know how many options did they have, like over 20, 30, 40, I don't know how many
Yeah,
food
very
options they had.
surprising. Disney's always so they kind of lean into the creating things unique for the allergy crowd,
Yeah.
and to see so
Or
little
even
of it this year is
modifications. Like
surprising.
sometimes you can go up to them saying, "Oh, can I get this but without this?"
Mhm.
And this year it was like everything was like pasta, sandwiches, bread. And like even America used to have like a really delicious like sweet potato mash with like ham and green beans.
Ooh.
And they used to have that every year, and I was always looking forward to it because I am one of those people that don't really like turkey.
Oh.
I love ham for Thanksgiving.
What the heck?
So that's why we're able to make this like mutual common ground in America, where he gets his stuffing and turkey, and then I get my ham, and they didn't have that this year. So I was like, oh, womp womp. But I do love Mexico. They're always like the best food. They always have the best food, the best choices. And like, I mean, I'm gonna gloat a little bit because
Gloat.
I love
Do it.
that booth so much. We were the first ones in line
That's true.
for the whole food festival. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, as soon as it hit 11 o'clock, they're
Pigs.
like, "You're our first one." I mean, literally, out of every booth, you're the first people to go get stuff, and it was delicious. Yeah, I ate the tostada. Was like, I mean, it was it was like massive. It was like a huge plate.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing. The tamale the first time around was delicious, and they had like extra mole, so I put the mole on the tostada to
Yeah.
add extra spice to it. And then the second time around when we got the tamale, I was like, "Where's the chicken? Did I order the chicken tamale?" But it still tasted good. And then I do love it does. I'm gonna say what Tyler said. It's a little quiet, and because I used to love going to like Norway and then hear them tell the story about like their Santa, and
The
then
barn Santa.
yeah, and like they
Yeah.
had La Befana in Italy, and so they would tell the story about La Befana, the witch, and and so everything kind of just felt very quiet, but you still had the beauty of Christmas in Epcot. So I loved like walking around and like listening to the music, because there is like one song that we like adore when they play it, and so Tyler and I just like stop and we're like, and I don't know what it's called. It's just like
You love it
musical
so much
instruments.
you don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know. It's on our playlist. I don't know.
Whatever it's called.
Something about Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
beautiful.
like
Yeah.
Anyway, so
That's
it's
what
really
the song's
cute.
called. Something about
But
Jesus.
it's like fun because there's like little like what is it, like a xylophone kind of thing. It's like anyway, so it's really fun, and so it's always fun to like walk around and see the decorations, and then you just kind of grab a drink or get your food and just look and admire all the beauty and like the trees and stuff that are decorated. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it was just really, it was very, I mean, it was fun to see Santa go by. That was actually kind of magical when we were like kind of eating our food, just kind of chilling, and then next thing you know, you hear like this music come in and in a wave, and we're like, oh, something's happening. And then all of a
Seems
sudden
magical.
you see Santa like go by, and he like, he had his microphone on and he was like waving to people and talking to them, which I thought was actually really magical for little kids. Their faces just like, we like looked by like little, this little group of like this little family, and this kid's face just like lit up. They're like, Santa's talking to me. And I thought that was really cute. And I actually really liked that each Santa and each theme park had their own costume.
Yeah, I noticed
Which I
that too.
thought was actually really fascinating. And I actually really liked Epcot's Santa's costume, because it wasn't just a plain red. It had like a design in the red, which I thought was actually really cool. But yeah, did you find it? You figured it out?
It's called Mary's Boy Child.
Oh, Mary's Boy
Mary's
Child.
Boy
Yeah,
Child.
By the
iconic.
Living Strings. Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
something.
It was
Jesus
actually
something.
really
Otherwise
cool.
known as.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it was great. The food is, I mean, there wasn't a lot of options, so I just stuck to Mexico. But it was good. I like, but his options, I smell them. It's
Yeah.
weird. I can't eat it, so I smell it, and I'm like, I think this would taste good.
Have a little bit of the aroma fill
Yeah.
you within.
I
And
just like waft it towards me, and I'm like, that might not taste good. And then he'll be like, looks can be deceiving.
looks can be deceiving.
And so he's like, this was delicious. And I was like, okay, cool.
Well, I'm glad that you guys
Yeah.
were able to enjoy a little bit of the Epcot International Festival of Holidays. Taste of Epcot
I love
is
this.
the precursor to it now. So it's not officially the full-fledged Epcot Festival of Holidays, but the Taste of Epcot. I will say, you're right, very quiet in general, which is not common with Epcot during the holidays, because there's always so much activity in each of the countries around the World Showcase area. However, I did notice that some of the stages that were not operating back in August were operating this time. So the Canada stage, right out in front of the Canada Nation, they had some of their Epcot acts, basically some of the normal Epcot musicians that typically play there up on that stage, and then the American Adventure Pavilion out there on that stage, they had the Mariachi Cobre,
Yeah.
and then also the Voices of Liberty were out there singing with a socially distanced sort of audience.
It was good to see them out again. Honestly, it kind of gave a little bit more life into Epcot, because I know a lot of people really love seeing them during Christmas too.
Yeah.
It just like, it's like a warm hug kind of thing, and they have beautiful voices and stuff. So it was great to see them back.
It was a perfect complement to
Yeah.
everything that was going on, especially since I didn't anticipate them being there. I love those little entertainment surprises when you get to see them. Mickey and Minnie coming out and doing their sort of little Christmas drive-by that they do through World
I didn't even
Showcase.
catch that one.
Oh, you missed it?
We always get Elsa and Anna, and
We
I'm
saw
like,
Mickey and,
did we?
and Minnie. Yeah. We were
Where were you,
Where
Katrina?
was I?
well,
Was I
not we
missing?
were getting our drink on. We were
Knee deep
sitting
in a tamale.
We were sitting in
I was like, I'm eating my tamale. No one talk to me. I'm busy.
we were sitting in Rosencrown and they went by.
Oh, well, I was sitting in Rosencrown, just like admiring everything else in here. I'm like, Rosencrown. Very
Mice?
great. And then
Who has
Tyler's
time
like,
for that?
mice outside. And I'm like, what?
Look at them go.
Mice who?
Yeah, nice to
Oh.
see, I think, the return of like processions through World Showcase. It's been a while, up until they've had to figure out how to pump entertainment safely into the environment this year. The processions through World Showcase are not something that you typically were seeing in the last couple of years. Now all of a sudden you see them again. And so I
Yeah.
think that's a really nice added magical touch, because you never know when they're coming. You know, they're not scheduled, and they just kind of drop in on you. The other really nice thing that I was thrilled to see was back inside that auditorium, inside that festival center between Canada and the UK. They had the band that they typically have, the performance group, Joyful, which they've had, I think, now for 8 years, something like that. I could be wrong with the timing, but I feel like they've been around for a little while, and they're one of my absolute favorite acts when it comes to Christmas. Thrilled that they got brought back in specifically for the Festival of Holidays, and definitely a huge highlight for me to be able to see Joyful again, put me back in the Christmas spirit in a year that is kind of tough to get in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really great, kind of like walking in and just hearing that Christmas music, and then seeing Santa kind of like come out and stuff, and then it's just like the tree. I don't know, like I love that tree in Epcot. I don't know why, but it's kind of there, and you see like the lagoon area, and you're just like, wow, like this is so picturesque and breathtaking. You just kind of want to sit there for a little bit and just like soak it in.
The Epcot tree.
The Epcot tree, man. I didn't get a picture with it this year. It was kind of, I was like, I don't really want a picture with a mask on and stuff. I don't know. So I was like, I'll admire it with my eyes. And I take a little mental photo.
I like how he threw a little jab at you and you didn't even notice. But anyway.
Listen, it's all about loving right now.
That's right. It's a season of love and light.
Yeah.
That's what
Don't
this
look at me
is.
like that way.
No.
I wasn't the one that's ending this.
How dare you? Well, my friends, if you have something in mind that you love about Epcot and Walt Disney World during the Festival of Holidays and the holiday season, go ahead, leave it in the comment section down below. We'd love to read it, love to follow up on it, and make sure if you haven't already that you give this video a big old thumbs up, and that you ensure you are subscribed to us and that you never miss an update by hitting that notification bell, especially if you're watching us over on the YouTube. You stick with us. All right, my friends, it looks like it's time for the Disney List. Disney List time, where we run down some of our favorites of all things Disney parks. And today we are talking about what we have in mind when Disneyland is closed. All we have to hold on to are our memories. So what we have in mind in terms of Disneyland at Christmas memories. Some of those memories that we want to share with you, some of those memories that we hold on to that we recall from years past at Disneyland. I'll begin by just sharing, Tyler and Katrina, that one of my favorite Disneyland Christmas memories is one time I was working in the Disneyland Dream Suite. So I was up there as the concierge. Yeah, very fortunate. What can I say? As the caretaker of the suite.
Is this going to be a story about ghosts?
No.
Maybe starring Scrooge or something like that?
No, we saved that for Halloween.
Oh.
No. But I was finishing up a shift, and the park had closed, I think at 8 or 9 that night, and this was first week of December, so everything's decorated, everything's ready to go for the special candlelight ceremony that we're so well aware of that happens at Disneyland and typically happens at Epcot every year. Epcot has multiple night events, whereas Disneyland just has the 2-night candlelight event. But at any rate, the experience at Disneyland is always so celebrated. It's because I think it only happens 2 nights, and it's a big community affair, and typically they have a celebrity narrator come in and narrate the story of Jesus's birth, and it's a very special ceremony that they've done since Walt Disney's time. At any rate, I was finishing up a shift at the Dream Suite, and I was leaving for the night, and I want to say it was probably at this point maybe 10 o'clock, in the evening, and I come walking by Main Street all lit up, and I'll never forget those special memories of seeing empty Disneyland at Christmas time, having Main Street to yourself. So spectacular. At any rate, I look down Main Street and I see everybody is down in Town Square in front of the train station rehearsing for candlelight. And I thought, I've never had the opportunity to sit and watch it, because typically the events are like sold out, and if you want to see it and you aren't invited already, you can see it as a park guest, but you have to kind of get in the morning and stay there all day in order to just have space to yourself in Town Square to watch it. So I came down to watch what was going on in Town Square and just run through the rehearsal and see what it's like, because I've always heard such great things about candlelight, and it's such a big deal for the resort. So I went down to Town Square, and as I'm sitting there, the choirs and their giant Christmas tree setup, and it's all very spectacular feeling because the pageantry is so big of this event. And as I'm watching, and I don't recall who the celebrity guest narrator was that year, but they aren't there during the rehearsals. So that's something a lot of people don't know. They show up for the live event only. I guess their time is not important, so they only show up for the live event, but they have a stand-in who does the narration. And so as I'm sitting there and watching this all happen, I hear the narration start and retelling the story of Jesus's birth and Christmas. And as I'm listening to it, it's the voice of Disneyland saying all of these things, right? And kind of telling the story of Jesus's birth. And I was like, I already kind of imagine that when I get to the pearly gates, it'll be that voice of Disneyland welcoming me. So I heard that and I thought, I wonder if that's pre-recorded, and they have that as a run through as a stand-in until the celebrity guest narrator gets there. And so I'm kind of scanning the stage and looking at everybody running back and forth and setting things up as this voice is going through the narration. And I thought it's so cool to hear that from the voice of Disneyland. And all of a sudden I sort of pan over to the podium area where that celebrity narrator would be standing, and I see a man talking, and his mouth is matching up with what I'm hearing from the voice of Disneyland. And I'm thinking, that's him. That's the guy. That's the voice. That's him. His name is Bill Rogers, and Bill is somebody who, you hear such an iconic voice, and it brings back a flood of memories. And I immediately got excited because I've never seen the man in person. I never knew what he looked like because you only hear his voice. And as soon as he was finished, I bum rushed him so fast on the side of that stage and got all amped up because I'd never met him before. And I went talking about all the great announcements I've heard him give throughout my time at Disneyland and how he brings back a flood of memories. And he said, he's like, I'd be willing to do your voicemail for you.
Oh, wow.
I said, what? You'll do what? And he said, I'd be willing to do your voicemail. And, he starts it with the ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for calling Wade's phone. And it was just, it is so special. It was so unique and a truly captivating Christmas memory that I hold on to. Even to this day, every time I think of Candlelight, I now think of that interaction that I had with Bill Rogers, the voice of Disneyland. Just, so warm. So cool. And every time I see him, I have to remind him, remember me? Do you recall me? Bum rushing you at Candlelight? And I remember. And the other really cool thing, he probably thinks I'm crazy, but the other really cool thing that a lot of people don't know is that the voice of Disneyland is married to the voice of California Adventure.
Yeah.
She's a female voice of California Adventure that you often hear in that park, and they're married. They're a couple. So, it's something that most Disney fans don't know, and I think it's such a neat connection. It's just like how the voices of Mickey and Minnie for the longest time were married. How many people really knew that? So a truly special moment, and I got to meet her. Camille is her name, and I got to meet her during that night, and he introduced me to the voice of California Adventure, and I got a great picture with the two of them because I was all giddy and all excited. But how about a memory from one of you guys? What do you think?
Okay, so I have like a lot of different little memories, but they're not it's not as good as yours.
No, well.
But I think it's really special. So it was like the first year we started dating, and so that was like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was like the first winter, and I was like super sad that my mom like wasn't gonna be able to come, and then so she was able to like fly out, and I was like super excited because like Christmas is like my holiday. And so is my mom. So my mom and I love Christmas, and she's like not a Christmas baby, but she was like December 7th, her birthday. So she's like right up in there. And anyway, so I was like, we're going to go to Disneyland. We're going to celebrate your birthday. We're going to celebrate Christmas. We're going to watch the lights and like take pictures of next to the castle and do all this beautiful stuff. And then this guy, has to make it even more magical. So then he got us seating for Fantasmic. When they did the dessert seating.
Yeah.
And then like that very next year they got rid of it. And so it was so beautiful. And it was like we were able to like first off, we went to dinner at Steakhouse 55. So I was like super stoked about it. And then I was like telling my mom about, you're going to love the ribeye. It's like the best. And there's seasoning on it. It's like so amazing. And then so we did that, and that was really magical. Because I didn't really know that we had reservations for Steakhouse 55 until a couple days before. And then Tyler was like, I got Steakhouse 55 reservations. And I was like, shut up. And so I was like, my mom's going to love this. So we like spent the day at the park, and I got my mom a cute little Mickey Mouse Christmas sweater, and we dressed up for Christmas. And then we went to dinner. And then when we were done, we like quickly rushed to Fantasmic for the dessert. And I still have a picture of it. But they did like a good job for that dessert, and the seating was like way up in there. Like we were like right in the action, and then it had like fruit, cheeses, like amazing chocolates and stuff. And then they had someone that came by that if we wanted like hot cocoa, coffee, tea, it was so amazing. And so we were able to like kind of sit and watch it. And then I was like waiting for like the fireworks to happen. So we waited. And we're like, I'm not leaving this seat. This is like a legit seat for the fireworks. And
Taking it with me.
Because after you watch Fantasmic, the fireworks then start like
Yeah.
a couple minutes later.
So as soon as it was done, and I was like, okay, we're going to sit here and we wait 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Then it was delayed. And then it was delayed again. And I was like, no! And stupid wind. And so then it got canceled. So I was like really sad. But then, we're like, okay, well, let's just go, walk around the park. And just even that is more than enough to get like into the Christmas spirit and like watching, like looking at the castle. My mom and I got to take pictures together, and like I still have them on my phone just so I can like always have them for Christmas when I put them on my like screensaver and stuff. And then just seeing Small World alone is like so freaking magical at night during Christmas when it's decorated. That facade
really over
is
the
like
top.
so beautiful. I cannot stress it enough. Like when the park reopens again and when it's Christmas again, and if you've never seen it, the best way to do it is to take the monorail from downtown Disney to Disneyland, and it makes a corner turn, and all of a
That
sudden
reveal, right?
it just woo, it's
Yeah.
right there, and it's just so beautiful and breathtaking. And that's what we did. Like we're heading over, and we took the monorail from Disneyland to or from downtown Disney to Disneyland to get to Fantasmic. And just doing that just alone was just so gorgeous. And that's when I found out about it. And I was like, oh, I have to do this every single year. Like you cannot, you have to do it if you've never seen it before. Anyway, besides that though, that was one of my best memories. It was just so magical, and like seeing my mom, being with my boyfriend, that like, and then you surprising us with Fantasmic was like so great. And then I still had stuff like left over the next day. So I got to have like a little bit, like a little, I don't know, take two. So I got to have like a little bit dessert for the next day that I took home. But anyway, so that was like really great.
That is a special memory. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And yeah, that Fantasmic dessert party.
Ooh.
Nice touch, Tyler.
Oh yeah, I know. I got to impress the girlfriend and the girlfriend's mom for
Lock
sure.
it up early. Good
Oh,
for you.
Yeah. Back in the day, they even used to do like you used to have to get up really early to do this and go stand in line at the guest services, but this was before the internet was even a big thing, and they used to do the dessert party up on the gallery balcony, like that is now the Royal 21.
Yeah.
So I mean that
Drink
was
sweet in between.
So my
Right.
dad did that for me one time, and I was like, well, if they're gonna get rid of this dessert party, we got to go and do it. But anyway, I got to be honest, I don't have a like standout memory. I mean, that's probably the most fun we've had during a Christmas thing. So I am gonna just kind of go with more of like the traditions that we always like to enjoy at Disneyland and California Adventure. So, and California Adventure has honestly become more of a love of. I feel like I enjoy my time there more than I do at Disneyland even sometimes, and it especially is true during Christmas. We love seeing Viva Navidad.
Oh yeah.
We go and see Viva Navidad, and that's become like one of our traditions now that we always have to go and watch that. We'll watch it probably like 4 or 5 times a season at least,
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just so much fun. The music, the kind of culture that it celebrates, and just, of course, I'm like a massive Three Caballeros fan too. So like, it's just cool seeing all of them together and doing this cool little Christmas celebration. I like it a lot. So that's really one of my main things. And also now with the Festival of the Holidays, it's just been, or I guess they call it Festival of Holidays over in California, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
funny.
I know, it's like get rid of the
Truly unique.
yeah. But that's always like something that we really look forward to, and I'm sad we're not doing that this year. And not even just for the food. The food is always pretty good. They always do this, or at least they have for the last couple years. They always do this like, what is it called? It's like a fried turkey. It's like a Nashville chicken but with turkey.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's what
I've never had that.
Oh man, it's so good.
Sounds
and
great.
This guy, he's like, I gotta have it.
Yeah, it's like what I have to get every year, and they just dip the fried turkey in the hot sauce and then put it on a piece of white bread and some
And a
pickles,
pickle.
and like that's all you need, man. It's
Yeah.
so good. And so that's like one of my favorite foods go to. And my favorite band that they always do every year, actually. And you don't have to be Jewish to love them, but like Mostly Kosher is fantastic, and I always enjoy seeing Mostly Kosher play, and they're kind of the highlight for me. I'm always into them. I'm always into like Mariachi Divas plays a lot too, but especially when they're there for Christmas, it makes me happy. And then of course you can't not do all the overlays over in Disneyland, like you know, Nightmare Before Christmas, over at the Haunted Mansion, and of course you have the Small World, like Katrina was talking about earlier. It's like Small World on speed. Like it's like so. I think it's so much cooler to go on it during the holidays than even just normally, and they even do like the projections every once in a while out on the Small World, and just so I kind of always have to see. Those are like the main things that I have to do every Christmas, and that's the memories that I have, is like it's like this tradition that like makes me feel warm and cozy, you know, even on a cold day when I think about doing that stuff. So yeah, I don't necessarily have that one story like you guys do, but I just that's what I have to do every year.
Memories.
They are my memories,
I mean,
but they all
and
but
you have good memories
exactly,
of them.
but they all like blend together, right? Like every year feels, because it's a tradition, you know. It's not like there's a standout year. It's just the warm blanket that I pick up every December, you know. So
it's very true that I got a little emotional when I was like, I can't see Viva Navidad this year. I was so sad.
Yeah,
something about Viva Navidad and the happiness and everything that comes with it is. It, like, when I do watch it, I tear up sometimes. Like it really is one of those emotional things for me where when they get rid of that, I'm gonna be really sad, because I know it won't be around every year. But
don't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Don't say it.
But it makes sense with Festival of Holidays too, because they do so many different cultures, and you know, so it's nice that, I mean, that fits perfectly. Even before they did the festival, they had Viva Navidad, and they just all fit perfectly together, and
it packs such an entertainment punch when it comes out, and I mean, and it's like it doesn't stop. You know, the whole time it's on, and you feel that energy, and it's so sentimental, and yeah, absolutely. Viva Navidad is one of those classics for the Disneyland Christmas time enjoyment that. Yeah, if it ever goes away, that is going to be hard.
Oh my, there's going to be so many mad people. I mean, I can't.
Let's think about
so much.
Let's not think about that time.
No.
Let's just be grateful
Hopefully
that we have the opportunity. Yeah.
So he won't do it.
And knowing that we are in a place where we can experience it this year, these memories are definitely special and things that we hold on to because Disneyland is so special during Christmas time. We'd love to hear what your memories are about visiting Disneyland during the holidays. Go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below, or ensure that we hear about it somehow. You can head on over to kingdomreportlive.com, fill out our communication form there. Again, would love to hear your story and some of your traditions, some of your memories, as Christmas time at Disneyland is something we still need to celebrate, whether it is open or not. All right, my friends, more Kingdom Report Live for you straight ahead. You stick with us.
Do you know everything the ghost host is going to say before he says it? Are you ready to thank the Venetians each time you board Spaceship Earth? Can you recite Walt's opening day dedication speech? Then join the Kingdom team today, the influential legacy fan community featuring exclusive merchandise that will alert all who've come to this happy place that you are more than just another guest. You are a trusted theme park fan. Don't miss out. Join the Kingdom team right now by visiting the homepage at kingdomreportlive.com. That's kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
Gared on the go time. Our Walt Disney World reporter, Gared Hassel, standing by out east in Walt Disney World somewhere to bring us all the news and details of activities in that kingdom. Gared, where are we today? What is going on?
I'm actually at California Adventure, if you couldn't tell by the color scheme going on right here. No. If you have never been out here, folks, the marquee sign and the entranceway to Disney's Hollywood Studios looks identical to California Adventure. But I'm out here at Hollywood Studios, and it is a freezing 72 degrees out here. So make sure you,
I hope you have a parka.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is honestly a perfect day out here where you can walk around in shorts, you can walk around in jeans. If you wear a jacket, you might honestly be a little too warm, but it's a great day. And it's a little overcast, so it kind of has that Christmas feel, just like you out west.
I mean, it's nice and cool here, that's for certain. A little cooler than what you're experiencing. But what brings you to Hollywood Studios? Are we celebrating something?
Absolutely. There's always something to celebrate, but recently the 1-year anniversary of Rise of the Resistance just came out. It just happened. Yeah, so if you've ever had the opportunity to go on it in the 4 months it was open out here, or the 2 months out in California, it's 1 year and people still cannot get on this attraction because it either one breaks down, or two, the boarding passes are gone within 15 seconds. I've experienced that a few times, but every time I've sought to go onto the ride, I've managed to get a boarding group. So I count myself very privileged in that. You got to know the tips and tricks. But yeah, happy 1-year anniversary, Rise of the Resistance. You technological genius, you. Honestly, the many people, when they go on the ride, they ask me like, "Oh, Gared, what's it like?" And I say, it's not like other rides where you go on it and it's sort of like a movie. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, where it's continuous. The Rise of the Resistance, I think, is built like a book where it has different chapters, and each chapter reveals more of the story. So getting a boarding group, that's the preface of the book right there, saying like, hey, it's a big deal. Not everyone gets to be a Resistance member. And then you go through the queue, and then you go in from there. If anyone hasn't seen that, I don't want to spoil anything, but pretty much the First Order, they cause some mayhem, and you got to get out of there with Lieutenant Beck, and Beck's a good guy.
Or so we think.
Squid-faced fish guy.
Seems like
I think he's a good guy. Like he looks, he's in the same species as Admiral Akbar. So for right now, he's got my vote of confidence. Who knows that when they create Rise of the Resistance 2, Beck's Revenge.
Oh,
One
man.
of the most absolutely over the top, overly themed, overly technical attractions they've ever created in any Disney park. And even a year in, so many people have still not experienced it. So many people have still not been able to jump aboard, whether it be, as Gared mentioned there, whether it be due to not being able to get a boarding pass while they're there, because that happens, or so much downtime. The ride is so technically advanced, and there's so many moving parts, and there's so many different rooms that need to communicate with each other, that the ride goes down a lot because there's so much communication within the Wi-Fi and the technical field of things, that if one thing is misaligned, the whole attraction goes down. So this might be one of Disney's greatest attractions ever, while also being one of Disney's hardest hit attractions ever when it comes to downtime, trouble, and problems. Still a great experience if you can hop aboard, but man, it's even a challenge getting on board.
I heard that on the actual anniversary day, it didn't even open till late afternoon.
Oh, jeez.
So
what an omen.
Yeah, I know. So it was kind of a bad thing. But yeah, I mean, out of all the attractions that I feel like I've ever been on in my life, this ride feels the most immersive. Like there's like, you'll go on a ride and you'll feel like you don't really feel like you're part of the story, but this one really pulls you in and makes you feel like, yeah, this is like your story. Like
I'm in it.
More like any other ride that I've ever. So I kind of consider it more of like an experience, like the whole thing combined, you know, because like Gared was even mentioning, when you do the pre-shows and stuff like that, it's not just like a pre-show where you're watching a guy talk about banshees for what feels like an hour and a half, but it's, you know,
and fly.
Yeah,
you love that line.
And you know, so like every single pre-show feels like hard hitting in that attraction. So yeah, happy birthday,
Rise of the Resistance, and may you only get better from here and be able to support more people moving forward. Gared, I know it's been an active news week in Florida. What should we know?
Okay, so it goes off of what you mentioned earlier at the very beginning of the show. So Morocco is kind of getting some changes going forward, and that is that Disney has taken complete ownership of the Morocco Pavilion at EPCOT. If you did not know, so the pavilions at EPCOT, some are owned and operated by Disney, others are owned and operated by the country or a company of said country. So Morocco was operated by the Kingdom of Morocco. The cast members that come over, Morocco handpicks them to come over and represent their country here stateside. So some countries are, like, for example, France, that is owned and operated by Disney, always has been, or at least in the most recent years. And so that's why they can build a Ratatouille attraction versus you've got a place like Morocco, they could never build anything back there because you have to get the approval of that government. So because of the pandemic going on, Morocco has seized ownership of it and pretty much sold the rights to Disney. So now Disney can do whatever they want back there, whether they want to create a brand new meet and greet for Aladdin and Jasmine and the Genie, or if they want to build a brand new attraction, or perhaps expand it into a larger area than it currently is. So yeah, I was actually there a few days ago walking around, and I just saw countless teams of, it could have been management or Imagineers, just walking around, and they had sheets on. They're just making notes of everything. Like they're starting to close up shop, and they're locking everything down. So I think something big is going to be in the future. I'm not sure what exactly. I've always loved the cast members from there because they took a lot of pride in their culture. Their costumes there are very elegant, and that area has some of the best food at EPCOT. And, you know, that goes to say a lot because EPCOT is filled with the best food. It probably is the park with the best food overall. So I'm looking forward to what happens. I know, Wade, one of your favorite things is the Tangerine Cafe. Yeah, that's still not open, but hopefully in the future it comes back with a bang because that place has some delicious food, especially the pita bread. The pita bread there is delightful.
I mean, we all know Gared is a foodie.
That's right.
So he speaks from experience. But I'll say this, the Morocco Pavilion, just sort of in general, a location that, you know, you want to talk about commitment to detail, Kingdom of Morocco being so involved with the creation of that space, you feel it. You know, you definitely feel all of that finite detail throughout every corner and throughout every twist and turn. That's what I like so much about the place. It does seem like Spice Road Table, the restaurant, they're sort of on the outskirts of the pavilion itself. That will be closed and reopening December the 13th, so going into the new week ahead. And then also some marketplaces and restaurants are still going to be shuttered moving forward with no reopening date officially, but I know that the area itself has always felt so culturally specific, and you really do walk away feeling like, all right, I've got a cultural experience here that I've been looking for. And I do miss the Tangerine Cafe, but we knew many months ago in the middle of all of this that we were going to witness Morocco have a lot of potential issues because they were seeking so many millions of dollars in loans and trying to get help because there were all kinds of problems on the horizon when it came to operating their budgets there. So it's very interesting to me to have Morocco be on the fritz while so many other lands and so many other themed areas of EPCOT were kind of in this space that, like, they don't necessarily have too many financial problems, they don't necessarily have too many operating issues, but knowing that now Disney is taking over is something that we're going to have to face and something that we're going to have to, I guess, deal with. Hopefully they keep to the cultural norms of the pavilion and kind of what it's already put forth. But Tyler, Katrina, when it comes to Morocco sort of passing off responsibility to Disney, you know, I know we've talked about it a little bit before, but now it's real, and now some things are going to be remaining shuttered for the time being.
I just hope that they don't get rid of my favorite wall over there, which is looks a lot like a certain part of male anatomy.
Oh my!
It is a architectural work of genius, and to remove it would be blasphemy on par with hurting the name of Walt Disney. It's
we wouldn't want that.
No, Tyler, I completely agree with you. It is also It's my former college program roommate's Tom. It's his favorite area of the park. I'll just tell you that. He showed it to me, and it became a pastime of mine where I must visit said architectural piece.
It's
So
even
that's
on the
all
map.
I'm saying
You can even
on
look
that
at the map, and it's on the map too,
Really?
which is really funny.
Really?
But,
Oh, I did not know that.
yeah.
I need to take a closer look at that map.
yeah,
now.
yeah. Well, you know, it's
It's
fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's a family show. My gosh. Wow.
But anyway, like in all seriousness, like yeah, I do hope that they don't change things too much, especially like even one of our favorite things to do during Food and Wine is to go and get that Mimosa Royale at the booth there in Morocco. And boy, if they get rid of that, it's going to be a really sad day for me because that's like kind of our favorite thing to do over there in Morocco. And you know, hopefully they keep like the hummus fries and stuff like that. I'm sure they can't be changing the menu too much, but yeah, you know, a lot of people like that purple wall in Magic Kingdom. I like this wall in Morocco.
Well, Gared, if you already saw people in the Morocco Pavilion section of the park looking at things with their clipboards and making notes, it sounds like some movement is already happening. But speaking of movement, we are moving towards New Year's Eve, and unfortunately, it looks like Disney World is not doing anything in particular for it this year.
That is true, Wade. If any of you watching this had any plans to come bring in the new year, yeah, that's not really going to be happening at all. Last week when we covered the extension of hours at the park, you noticed that none of them went to midnight on New Year's Eve. That is because, well, the latest one is going to stay open until 11, so there's no New Year's celebration. There's not going to be any fireworks spectacular. The only fireworks we really get are when the castle transforms, and it's like a little choo. That's all it is. So unfortunately, that will not happen, but I think this might be for the better because, you know, at New Year's, people are going to be taking off their masks, they're going to be kissing, and we just can't have any of those cooties going around because we want to stay healthy and safe. So if you want to enjoy New Year's Eve, go to the parks. If you want to bring in the new year, go to EPCOT and go to one of the countries that are 17 hours ahead of us, for example, China or Japan. And hey, you can bring in the new year with China and Japan. You just will not be bringing it in with North America. So pretty much Canada, Mexico, the U.S., and that's about it for the North American side of things. However, you might be able to go to Germany and bring in the new year there or in the U.K. pavilion. But yeah, Canada, U.S., and Mexico, I'm very sorry, but no celebration there. So happy New Year's, everyone.
Happy New Year's. Yeah, I mean, I have not heard what they plan on doing with Times Square this year. I assume nothing's happening and they're just dropping a ball with 0 people.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be virtual.
I think they're doing a virtual one.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, these iconic institutions, these iconic places that are known for their New Year's Eve celebrations, to not have it all of a sudden this year is just bizarre. You know, it's just so unusual, a time where the world tends to come together, right, on this particular night to celebrate ringing in new beginnings. Now will be mostly virtual, and it sounds like non-existent in certain places. So Disney World not having it's a little strange, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange, but it makes complete sense, and I think it would be irresponsible to try and do something like that.
Because you know everybody would show up and pack it in.
And they would have to, you know, come up with some way to just tell people, like, you know, this show is not specific. The fireworks we're doing is not specifically tailored to being in front of the castle, so please watch the show from anywhere, like
miles away.
But they can't.
No one's gonna
There's no
believe
way
that.
they could do that.
Right.
So and everybody's still gonna rush for the castle still. So it just, you know, it makes complete sense, and I get it. You know, they can't do that. You know what it reminds me of though is I don't know who's been to Pleasure Island here, you know, before it turned all into Disney Springs, but they used to celebrate New Year's Eve every single night.
Every night, right?
Every single night.
Boy, I miss that.
So that was a lot of fun when I was a kid, even though I was not old enough to drink. I still had a great time celebrating every single night at midnight. It was awesome.
I think that's something worth bringing back when the world returns to a little bit more of a normal.
New Year's every day.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
like I loved that about Pleasure Island. I thought that was such a unique takeaway and a reason to go hang out there every night.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, from the comedy club to Adventurers Club and all that stuff. Oh man, I miss islands islands. I miss.
Islands.
I don't know why I was. I don't know if I'm thinking
Universal
about
or the
hamburgers or
restaurant?
Universal Studios at
Yeah.
this point. No, but I miss Pleasure Island. It was such a good time.
And this is, of course, the busiest time of year when it comes to the holidays at Disney parks, and typically the time of year where they max out capacity all over the place. They have to shut their gates and tell people to go to other parks while they fill their park, and they have to move people around. Disneyland was known for this time of year as well. But Gared, when it comes to Walt Disney World and their new reduced capacity this year, you have to make a reservation in order to even get into a theme park now. And I think there was big concern going into the holidays that all those reservations were going to be taken early, right?
Yes, that is always a concern because with the holidays, I've noticed that more and more that the park pass reservation system has been emptying out very soon. But Disney just replenished a bunch of them, so it kind of makes you wonder, like, what is the actual max occupancy you can bring in here? That question still only remains in the minds of the top aficionados of Disney. But yeah, so Christmas, New Year's Eve, the week of, and even this upcoming week that we have, they just replenished a bunch because I was looking like, where am I going to be next Saturday? And they replenished everything. So now I know, hey, I got a ticket to go to Magic Kingdom on the 19th. So if anyone wants to meet me there, come on down. But it really is nice to them to release more because what often happens is guests will make reservations and then they don't show up at all. And for someone like an annual pass holder like myself, annual pass holders are given the least amount of passes just because Disney doesn't really make as much money off of us versus someone who is staying at a resort or buying a day ticket. So thank you so much, Disney, for allowing me the chance to go to the parks more than I already do. But yeah, if you want to go to New Year's, hey, you can enjoy it until about 11 p.m. at Magic Kingdom. But I do have a pro tip, and that is when things are back to normal, if you do want to celebrate New Year's Eve at Disney World, EPCOT is the place you want to be because the fireworks spectacular there literally turns daylight on. At least in the past. Who knows what's going to happen with those harmonious bars? Those things was massive, and pretty much Epcot becomes like a nightclub where you go to China and they have like they have a dragon that shoots out smoke at you and you're just dancing. And then over in Italy, they used to have the silent discos where you put on the headphones. I'm not sure that's really going to be a thing anymore, but yeah, Epcot's the place to go for the New Year's Spectacular because before it all goes down, they're like, oh, 3 hours ago, China celebrated, boom, and then there's fireworks for that, and then they do it each of the country, and then they're like, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, America, boom, just like that, with a little bit more pizzazz.
And Sam Eagle soars.
Yeah,
that's right. What a moment.
Sam Eagle is actually, he actually is orchestrating the entire thing. He is conducting the fireworks. He's like, okay, I want that one. I want the 10-pounder. I want the 15-pounder. I want pulled pork for everyone.
From pulled pork everywhere.
Pulled pork, I like it.
Oh my
From
gosh,
on top of the American
fireworks.
Adventure.
Pulled pork's great.
Yeah, it's kind of messy, but you know you can't hate on the Smokehouse because Regal Eagle is the place to celebrate America.
Do you think it's messed up that he sells chicken?
No, because he's an eagle, and remember, eagles are at the top of the food chain. Chicken and turkeys, they're down there. And like, are there any Muppets named Chicken?
I mean Gonzo's friends. Gonzo's,
yeah,
Camilla,
and the other one.
Tragedy, truly, but
wow,
but
he doesn't care.
Like a cow in the Muppets too.
Sam Eagle celebrates America's greatest pastime, which is capitalism, and so he doesn't care about their livelihood. He cares about making the dollar bills, y'all.
Wow.
So
do you think that's all he cares about? Wow, I feel like
well, no. To all nations, but mostly America.
Yep.
I don't know his business plan. I'm not on the board yet.
But you seem to be making a lot of accusations and alleging many things that he would be thinking. Very strange, my friend. Very strange. Well, it's cool to hear that in terms of reservations, they've been replenished, and that certainly Disney parks will have a little bit more room this holiday season than expected, especially going towards this very busy time of year typically for them. Sounds like there's still an opportunity out there just in case you were looking to celebrate with Walt Disney World. Gared, anything else to share with us before we let you go?
No, just that if you're coming out here, enjoy the holiday decorations. I've had the opportunity to do all 4 parks, and the holiday decorations are phenomenal. My favorite one is Animal Kingdom. I think that what they did there is beyond beautiful. It is peaceful, it's tranquil, it's charming, and the projections on the Tree of Life beat the projections on Cinderella Castle. If you don't agree with me, well, I'm going to say I'm right in this one. No, if you like the castle, I know the castle is very special, but no, the Tree of Life, it really outdid itself with the cute little shows on there. One of them actually almost brought me to tears. So go check it out yourself. Magic Kingdom is phenomenal. I'm just sad about EPCOT not being its full regalia. I miss Barn Santa. Barn Santa, if you hear me, bring me a present. But
we're thinking of you, Barn Santa.
Yeah, Barn Santa, and then also the Chinese Dragon. That's pretty phenomenal. But no, Walt Disney World is doing good. We're having fun out here. There are kids running around with lightsabers whacking each other, so you can't beat that. Other than that, I just want to say happy Hanukkah to those that celebrate, and happy holidays from Gared on the Go, sponsored by Gared on the Go.
Wow, you sponsor yourself. I always wondered how this worked.
Wow.
So that's how you get on. Awesome, man.
Hey.
Well, thank you for paying your own salary. Blessings to you for that. And yes, happy Hanukkah, and thanks so much for dropping in for some Walt Disney World news. We appreciate it. All right, you stick around. Kingdom Report Live rolls on with a little bit more next.
Hey Kingdom team, do you need more magic in your life? We understand, which is why we connect you to more of what makes you happy 3 times a week. Catch our theme park coverage, vlogs, and reviews every Tuesday and Thursday. And experience the Kingdom Report Live, streaming every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. That's new content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, crafted with you in mind. Don't miss out. Be sure to subscribe and activate notifications at The Kingdom Report on YouTube. And catch every update throughout the week at Kingdom Report Live on social media. See you there!
Kingdom team, all call time. This is questions and answer time, where we bring our best version of an answer to your questions. If you haven't already, make sure that you are filling out those questionnaire forms over at kingdomreportlive.com. You'll leave that comment for us. We'll go ahead and follow up just as soon as we can, or you can leave it down in the comment section down below in this very video and let us know what's on your mind, and we'll try and follow up in a future broadcast. In today's Q&A, we start things off with JT Sockop. JT Sockop asks, do you think Disneyland might require COVID test results in order to enter the theme parks if it means reopening Disneyland faster? So I've seen a couple of different things on this front. It looks like Orlando International Airport out at Walt Disney World side is now going to be offering on-site COVID-19 testing. So a lot of big public spaces are now offering rapid testing. I don't get the impression that Disneyland specifically out west is going to, even if that was a precursor, like, oh, show us your test results in order to come in. I don't think Disney wants to get into that business of, gauging whether or not somebody's test results are appropriate. And even though I'm sure it might give some people more confidence, I just can't see Disneyland wanting to do that. But Katrina, what do you think? A question like this, kind of interesting. The times we're in, Disneyland is a little desperate.
I think it's an interesting question. I don't think Disney would ever do it.
Yeah.
I think that, again, they at Orlando International Airport, they had to do it because there's a lot of restrictions in certain states where you actually have to have a test before you fly out, and you have to be negative, or if you're positive, you have to quarantine yourself again. But I think I don't think it would be plausible for Disney to do it because it's up to the state, and like for California, for Disneyland specific, like to allow them to open and whatnot. But I think for like peace of mind, if you want to do it, I think it'd be a great idea. Just to kind of, you fly in, maybe you're not feeling well or something, and you just want to go get a test before you go to the park, or maybe you're in the park and you start kind of like worrying yourself. They have like an accessible area where you can go and get like a quick, like a quick test, instead of like, because when you're in the Disney bubble in Disney World, let's say per se, you're kind of like stuck in the Disney bubble if you don't have a rental car, if you don't take Ubers and stuff. So if they had like an area where you can actually go do it at Disney Springs or something, maybe that would be a good idea. Or somewhere at the resort, at your specific resort that you're staying, they offer like a quick swab or whatnot, and then if you are positive, you're gonna be quarantined for 2 weeks. I mean, yeah, it'd be hard for Disney World, I think, in my mind, because it takes what, like 3-4 days to actually maybe even get it or start showing signs. So if you take a flight in and you do it, you could still be negative.
Yeah.
And then 4 days in, then you could be positive.
It seems
So
just
it's hard.
far more complicated logistically to try and make sense of it. And I know that recently a testing center opened up right outside of Walt Disney World property, or I guess perhaps on it. It's very close to Walt Disney World for the sake of having rapid testing for cast members and stuff like that. So they do have the ability to do it. But yeah, to reopen, I think Disneyland side of things, you know, even if the state said like, oh, we would require that in order to, and you know, far be it for me to think that the state wouldn't consider something like that, but we would require people to present a negative test in order to enter. You know, I think it all comes down to like the time frame and stuff like that. Like, how long has it been, and like, were you quarantined for the last 3 days after you took the test? You know, how long did it take you to get the results? I know Hawaii has this setup, right, where you can't go visit Hawaii unless you have taken a test and shown that you have negative results. I don't know all the specifics of that, but I know that they're already playing with that sort of an idea in terms of heading out to the island. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I just can't imagine that they're gonna do this. I mean, Disney would definitely never do it on their own, I don't think, and I just don't see the state requiring them to do it either. I mean, if you think about it, the state doesn't require you to do a test, to get a negative test to go anywhere right now. So it really would be strange to just kind of pick on Disney. I mean, I guess they've done it already, but it would be strange to just pick out certain types of businesses where you have to have a negative test.
Movie theaters and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
congregating
that's
points.
The thing is, if they are going to do that, it needs to be for like everything, not just for Disney and Universal and stuff.
Like sporting events and all this other stuff that they want to do. Concerts.
Maybe it's coming, but I just can't foresee that, and I think they're going to do the temperature checks at Disneyland, and that's going to be that.
I mean, that's like all you can really do, right? Because again, there's like really no known cases that you can get from Disney World because you took a flight, you had to take a car over there. There's all these other different factors, so I can't really like pinpoint saying I got COVID from A, B, or C, you know, like from like Disney World or Universal Studios or something, unless you were like only there.
Right.
There's like other factors when you go travel on a vacation.
Yeah.
So, and then you take a bus to the parks or whatever.
Sure.
There's like so many
lot of
factors.
elements.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you can't really pinpoint it. And I know like Disney doesn't want to put its name on like, oh, here, have a swab up your nose, like, you know, kind of thing. But, I mean, and again, it's going to take more than a couple days to figure it out. Like when we came back, we were going to do a test like the day after we flew in. And I was like, well, that's stupid because we flew in. So we kind of have to wait like 3 days to like let it muster if there is something in there. I don't know. And then we did it like 3 days later and we quarantined ourselves and then took our test and then we're negative. So I was like, okay, that's great. You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. I mean, an interesting question for the sake of, you know, where things might be going, but also, you know, at the same time, vaccines are rolling out now. And so those are starting to move into place. I'm sure it's going to be some time before the majority of the population sees vaccines. But at the moment, you know, I don't imagine Disneyland is going to be opening anytime soon anyway. Even if this was a requirement, I still don't think the state's going to be comfortable with it. So, yeah, I just can't see that happening logistically. Great question, but I don't think that's going to happen either. So, again, if you have a question, make sure that you leave it down in the comment section down below or that you fill out the form at kingdomreportlive.com. We would love to follow up on your questions and see what we might be able to share with you in terms of an answer, at least our general understanding of what might be going on and some of our offhanded expertise. That's what we'll call it. Not medical professionals by any regard, but definitely how we see things, and we appreciate you sending that in. Our next question in this Q&A comes to us from a very good friend of ours named EPCOT Society. And EPCOT Society says, just curious as to whether or not you think Disneyland will reopen on its own and ignore California's temporary restrictions. So obviously, we've heard this several times, as a matter of fact, from viewers and from listeners who've said, you know, Disneyland's big enough, Disney's big enough, why don't they just reopen? Why don't they just do it on their own? Why don't they just go for it? obviously Disney is a socially responsible company. It's a major organization that has a lot at stake. In terms of reputation, I know that there is so much that they consider before they act. And even this year, as we've seen the back and forth between the state of California and Disney, from the people in Disney, the presidents, the chairmans, that sort of thing, spatting with the governor and spatting with the state itself. Even that has been sort of uncharacteristic of Disney, to be very public about that sort of thing and to call out this behavior and to call out how unhappy they are. You don't typically see that. And so, granted, they're in a very unique case where I'm sure they're irritated as hell at this time to not be able to reopen things while other things have reopened, in alongside it. But in terms of this type of a question, we'll turn it over to you, Tyler, first. And what do you think?
Never.
Yeah,
that just can't happen. I mean, they, even you covered the whole reputation part. Like, there's also a monetary thing too, where they're clearly going to be just, what's the word? I'm like blanking on the word, but the state is going to charge them money for open. Like, they're going to like fine them. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of the word.
Complicated.
Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of it, but yeah.
Or sue.
Yeah, right.
The state is not going to be happy with that, and that's just not going to happen. It just can't happen, because they're not going to break all these. The relationship is already strained right now, and they're not going to just completely break the relationship at this point, even though they're angry. There's no way. It just can't happen.
It's like Game of Thrones, like you gotta
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Quiet. You just quiet yourselves and just sit like Arya Stark or something in the back, and then wait, and then you strike.
Oh,
yikes!
No, not that really. That was really intense.
That was exactly what I was thinking, though. You're 100% right.
I mean, you just kind of have to play your cards right.
Iger out of the shadows.
Yeah, just like creeping around, putting different masks on, trying to get in there. But anyway, yeah.
Never thought we'd be comparing Disneyland to Arya Stark, but here we
that's
are.
what they're doing, though. Like, I mean, they like work with the government, they work with states, they work with everything, and they try to like please everybody, and to try to like put in their 2 cents, but not look like mean people and go behind their backs and just have this like huge news report being like, can you believe what the state and the government's doing to us, and this is what's happening. Like, they're not going to be petty about it. They're going to like just suck it up and just deal with it privately.
Yeah,
like the royal family.
Like the royal family, yes.
Let's bring in the crown. Shall we start
yeah.
talking about the crown and Game of Thrones?
Oh, so many series here. If they haven't done it yet, and like I said, I don't think they ever would, but if they haven't done it at this point, I don't think they will. I think they're more likely to take a legal route, and I'm again surprised that I haven't seen that either, given the fact that there are so many different theme park heads and leaders across the state that have come together on this and really wanted to share their disdain and say, show me the specific science where the outbreaks are caused from us by doing all the right things. Show me the specific science where this is becoming a problem in these environments that are all mostly outdoors anyway. And if we keep people outdoors, isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? And it's very interesting because, obviously with this new stay-at-home order here in California, downtown Disney and the downtown Disney expansion of Buena Vista Street is practically all shut down again. And now there are so few stores even left open. Many restaurants have closed down along with it. Another 300 Disney cast members got furloughed all over again. And then on top of that, you have these, and I'll say the word ridiculous, you have these ridiculous signs now posted in front of places like Wetzel's Pretzels saying you can't eat it here. So you can come in and get your pretzels, but you can't eat it outside, 6 feet away from somebody. You have to get off Disney property in order to eat it. Okay.
Yeah. What are you going to do with like a Jamba Juice and a Starbucks and like all these other quick eats and stuff? It's just so silly.
It is silly. And, it's gotten to the point now where, because I think we've also mentioned it before, I think Disney has a real legal case, a real legal standing to challenge the state at this point and say, you haven't even given us an opportunity to prove we can do it. You've sent people to Florida. You've sent people to Disney World to see what we're doing out there and how well we're doing it. Why can't you just let us do it here? And so I get it. We're in the middle of spikes right now and all of these things are going on. I understand. But at this time, to ignore temporary restrictions, I don't think you'll ever see the company do that. Mm-hmm. But I do imagine that if on the other side of the new year, if they are still closed come March, I think you will see legal action. I don't think they will tolerate it anymore because, especially with vaccines on the horizon and things being moved out at the moment, I don't think you're going to see Disney put up with much more because they're tired of it too.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for it to strike. Like they're like, if that year mark seems like a sweet spot. If they're closed for more than a year, then like a lawsuit is definitely gonna like be in the works.
Yeah,
but
if they don't do it, I'll be surprised.
Downtown Disney's going to expand very, very far, all the way back to like Small World and whatnot. You know, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, this is a national monument. This is what we need to open and get that stuff done." So we'll see.
Yep, we will see indeed. Epcot Society, thank you so much for sending in your question. And if you have a question for us, make sure you go ahead and post it down below in the comment section or send it on over to kingdomreportlive.com. All right, my friends, that about wraps things up. It is the holly jolly Christmas season, and probably the last show we will have Tyler and Katrina until Christmas time. So tell me, any big plans for the week ahead and any big plans for Christmas?
Well, no, not really. Yeah, not really. We don't really have that. You know, we're going to do Christmas at home. And
I get to work on Christmas Eve.
Yay!
And speaking of
payroll,
Katrina not liking, I didn't realize that you didn't like turkey, but we have a turkey in the refrigerator ready for Christmas.
Listen, I don't hate turkey. I just don't really. I eat it once, and then like the leftovers, I have to like douse it with like gravy, mashed potatoes. You know, you have to make that leftover layered thing where you like douse it with like stuffing and gravy and all this stuff to like hide the flavor
it's just
of
too
the
complicated.
turkey.
Yeah,
you know,
Christmas dinner's already
but
a failure, is what I'm hearing.
It was actually pretty delicious. I'm not gonna lie, that turkey was really good that you made last year. So.
Heck yeah, it was. That's right.
So I'm just saying, it was good. It was delicious. So I'll eat it again.
Okay, good.
And now we know.
See, look at that. We made up.
Hip, hip, hooray. Well, we hope you guys have a wonderful, simply having a wonderful Christmas time, if you will. Thank you very much. Hope you have a wonderful Christmas time. We will be back here with you next week at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Sabina Graves will be sitting in for these two Christmas snowbirds. And hopefully you will be joining us once again as our pre-Christmas celebration continues. And we have all of that holly jolly cheer stored away just for you. Remember, the legacy of Walt Disney, it lives on because of people like you and me. We'll see you next Saturday for an all-new Kingdom Report Live.